Hi everyone, Ydracyl here. I've been getting a fair share of requests on tips on breeding, so I decided to make a nice quick tutorial to help focus on the main points and what you needed to get started. So let's get right into this. So today we're going to focus on the Velonosaur. It's a brand new dino that came out with the extinction. Now, to get started, we need to tame several of these Velonosaur, and then we are going to basically meld the stats together. And then, after that, we can actually start breeding the dino. So before I confuse anybody, we are using 3 mods here in this video. The Super Cryo Storage, which is basically an updated version of the Cryopod. The Super Spyglass, which is also going to show us physically what the points on the dinos are for stats. And finally, the Gene Scanner, which is a Bob's exclusive DLC, which will enable us to find the dino very quickly. So we're going to find our first Velonosaur using the Gene Scanner. If you access the radio on this device, you can physically search for the dino you're looking for. Now as you can see, the arrows will show you which direction the dino is actually in. Please note, this does include above or below ground as well. This is also part of the Bob's exclusive DLC, which is a paid DLC. Once you have a good amount of dinos at your disposal, you then need to look at each of their stats individually. As you can see, the pop-up on the left side will show the stats in detail, breaking down each one numerically. This is part of the Super Spyglass mod. So what we need to do here now is notate each highest stat. Personally, I use a notepad for this. Then we will breed each dino with the highest stats together until we have a completed Velonosaur with all of the highest stats. We will name this dino R1. So I sped up the process a bit, and now have found even better Velonosaurs along the way. Now up to the R3 class. As you find better dinos, it's always advisable to add these into your mix, because better stats is better dinos. Once you have a proper male and female R created, you then need to make multiple females. This is going to be however you feel most comfortable. Me personally, I use about 20. I have seen people use 60 or just even 5. Whatever you are most comfortable with is what you can use. For smaller sized dinos, I generally use a dome enclosed building. This keeps them free from harm and also easily accessible and organized. In this particular building, I have 21 Velonosaurs laid out. So we've added a terminal from the Super Cryo Storage. The first thing you want to do is check the range using the radio. Make sure all of your dinos are in the bubble, but not too large to capture other dinos on accident. You can resize this in the terminal settings. So we're going to go into the terminal settings now. From here, you want to make sure that you have auto trap babies checked. Also note in the bottom right the terminal range that I spoke of earlier. Once that's complete, make sure you have a sufficient amount of cryobots inside the terminal itself. If you're low on these cryoballs, you can make them inside the terminal for 2 crystal each. So since we have the auto trap babies checked, any newborn dino will automatically enter the terminal as long as we have an SCS cryoball in the inventory. If you noticed, we have an air conditioner in each window. This will force the eggs to hatch. This process is much quicker than picking up the eggs manually. So now that that's all done, we're going to go back into the terminal settings and click on the Enable Mating button. This will force any dino in that vicinity of your bubble to mate. Now that we have our first round of dinos hatched, we need to see if any dino is mutated. Enter the terminal and hover over each dino to see if any mutation is listed on their stats. This will be listed in yellow in the second stat column. We can search a bit more quickly by adding 2 levels in the search bar. As our breeder is 298, we search for 300. Please note, however, in rare cases, we can actually get a double or even triple mutation. So as you can see, we were lucky enough to get a mutation here. However, being this is a female dino, we have to take an extra step now into the breeding process. What we need to do now is breed our mutated female back with our original R1 male to produce a male with an oxygen mutation. As you can see, I've gone and named our new mutated dino as FO45, female oxygen 45. That's 43 base plus 2 mutated points, and this is to help track and organize your dinos. A few good tips to follow is that it's very important that you do not delete any old dinos in the case that some issue happens down the line of your breeding process. Also, when mutating, keep your mutations to 1 stat per parent. This is because once you've reached 20 mutations, the percentage chances of a mutation are drastically lowered. Our mutated dinos need to be male since our breeding pen is all females. Switching a mutated dino to male tremendously increases the mutation chances overall. We will throw this one out and rename it to O45, that is Oxygen 45. Now it's as simple as repeating the process. Our next goal is a level 302 with 4 points in oxygen, renaming this dino to O47, or FO47 if a female. Do not ever touch the FR3 dinos, as these must stay with 0 mutations during the breeding process. In the case we wish to do a different stat, we need to return to our original R3 male and breed as we did in step 1. Once you have the mutated stat that you wish to use, then you just continue the process as we did with the oxygen.